But when I was out of my body, I felt so free and light, and all the pain was gone, and the fear was gone. It just felt amazing. And I felt powerful and magnificent. And I could see my physical body lying on the bed, and my physical body looked so small and insignificant compared to how I was feeling. I felt I was greeted by other entities. It felt like they were there to help me to cross over. And I didn't recognize all of them, but one of them was my dad, who had passed away 10 years prior to that. And it was really amazing connecting with my dad, because when I was growing up, I had a very turbulent relationship with my dad. But here on the other side, all I felt from him was pure, unconditional love.
That's dramatic.
Yeah.
In that state, these 30 hours that you were in, what did you learn when you finally came back? And tell me about that experience being rammed back into your body. How did that happen? Somebody call you? Somebody send you? What happened?
My dad sent me back from that side. He told me it wasn't my time. He said that I still had gifts. I had things to do. He said I had not completed my purpose and I needed to go back. But I didn't want to come back because it was
bliss, isn't it?
I mean, it was bliss, and my body was dying of cancer. But
who wants to be put back into that, right?
Exactly. But that's when I started to learn the lessons. I realized that we are much more powerful than we have been led to believe. It's almost like it's been conditioned out of us when we're in the physical. And I realized it was like my dad wanted me to know that now that you know the truth of who you really are, you need to go back and live your life fearlessly, and your body will heal dramatically.
So when you come back into this stage 4 cancer-ridden body, how did you feel? And did you come out of the coma at all?
So I came out of the coma. Literally, I started coming out of the coma. What it felt like in linear or human time, it felt like that as soon as I made the decision to come back, that it felt like I came out of the coma within minutes after that. And as I came out
still with stage 4 cancer.
Still with stage 4 cancer. So my body was critical. But as I opened my eyes, and my family was there, and my brother had flown in from India because he heard I was dying, and so he caught a flight and
of course.
Exactly. So he was there, and I just started saying to my family, I said, I'm not going to die. It's not my time. Dad is here. Dad told me. They all thought I was delirious, and so they called a doctor, and the doctor said, yes, it's just the drugs. It's messing with her mind.
She's close to going.
She's close to going, exactly. So he made sure to not let my family raise their hopes, because he was so sure that I was dying.
Well, you already proved them wrong on one thing when they said you'd never come out of the coma.
Exactly.
And you'd be dead. You were still alive and you came out of the coma.
I came out of the coma, but he was still there saying, she's delirious. She's delirious. She's still critical. But what blew him away was then I said to this doctor, I said, didn't you take fluid out of my lungs at 5 this morning? Aren't you the one who did that? And he said, how do you know? You were in a coma. I was able to see and hear everything that was going on.
As Raymond Moody pointed out, you hear those things.
And as I started to recall, tell everyone the conversations that were taking place, that's when they started to realize something had happened. But what happened is that after 4 days, I was wanting to sit up. I was wanting to take out the tubes that were in me.
Were you feeling better?
I was feeling better. I was still very weak.
That's still stage 4?
So in 4 days, they took tests. Actually, by the 5th day, they took tests, and they found that the tumors had shrunk by 60%.
In 4 days?
In 4 days, and they could not explain it. The doctor who was treating me was blown away. He said, I don't even know what to write in your medical.
They've never seen anything like this.
They thought they'd made a mistake with the records. They thought they had brought the wrong medical records to compare.
Do they think the mistake was made on the first time when they called you stage 4, or on the second time when they said it was gone?
Well, actually what happened... So what happened was that when they send me to the lab, to the radiologist, and so the radiologist doesn't have a relationship with me, and he's just taking the tests.
He's just looking at numbers.
And he's just looking at numbers, and and I could hear him calling my oncologist and said, have you sent me the right records? Because when he made the comparison, he said, this is not possible.
This is not a stage 4 person.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, and were you alert then?
I was alert. And over the days, over the next 3 weeks, my work was to build up my physical stamina, because I now had to build my strength up and my muscles up again.
Anita, did you know what was happening to you at this point? The fact that the cancer was going away, was in remission, you were getting better. Were you aware that you were doing this?
Yes, because what actually happened is that as soon as I came out of the near-death state, I understood that cancer is not a physical disease of the body. It was, for me, it was a disease from the level of from my soul or my consciousness, where I had never allowed myself to express myself. I'd never known how smart our bodies were. And so...
That's dramatic.
And so now I knew that I was already healed, but my body just had to catch up.